Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Alice Mike's podcast. This is Al. Thank you so much for listening. Sorry for having a week off or so, but Al was busy. I will have a podcast about his adventures. Had a 4-day weekend, we'll say, for in LA. You know, was it? 2 concerts, Dodger game, and experienced Picolandia for the first time. Interesting. Definitely interesting. I'll have more insights on that in another podcast. I'm just going to talk about that weekend. There's a lot to talk about. So much to talk about, actually. So just welcome to another episode of Alice Mike's podcast. It's Music Friday. We missed the last... for August 20th. So we're jumbling together again, August 20th and August 27th. All the new releases that came out for, El Regional Mexicano, for the Mexican music that was released on Spotify and everywhere else. Looks like all the artists released stuff on Friday, so not just on Spotify. And remember that all the music that I recommend, all this new music that I recommend is added to Alice Mike's playlist on Spotify. So if you search for playlist on Spotify, Alice Mike's playlist, all the music gets added there from my past recommendations to the new ones. So go ahead and check that out. Again, you can follow me at Facebook at Alice Mike Podcast, and Instagram, Alice Mike Podcast. You could send me messages, see what's going on, what's new. I always give a shout out every time a new episode comes out. And just thank you everybody for listening. Hopefully everybody's having a great weekend. Everybody's staying safe, staying away from that COVID, whatever that new thing is. Stay safe. Don't forget to, if you're indoors or somewhere in public, being a lot of people, wear a mask. We're already getting used to it, so don't forget your hand sanitizer, and just don't forget to protect yourself and do as much as possible, so you don't end up in getting COVID or anything, these things. And even now we having a time of, I've known a couple people that have gotten just a cold. And then they have to get tested because they think it's COVID, and it turns out it's not COVID. So good, but still the cold. They know it's still, you can still transmit it between people. So be careful. Be safe out there. Hopefully everybody's having a great weekend or great week whenever you're listening to this. Have a good one. Keep having a good one. And just hope you stay safe, and and it's we're past half the year already, and a lot of stuff's going on. There's fires everywhere. There's a bunch of political stuff. A lot of stuff's happening. They just sometimes you just gotta be thankful for what we have. We see different conflicts, different situations into different worlds. Stuff in Afghanistan it's quite sad. We might complain about some stuff here in the United States of situations and some taxes, but a lot of times we don't have to worry about our life. If we just by walking outside, something might happen to us or a significant other. There's some communities that, it is worrisome, but it's not as bad as a religious prosecution and some other stuff that, that's going on in Afghanistan and some other countries. It's not the only one. But hopefully stuff gets resolved, stuff gets better. You really hope so. You really do. But yeah, all right. So from that end, let's take it about more positive. Let's let's look at the new releases that came up this week. It's quite a bit because I am jumbling up the ones from last week and this week. So started off Los Muchachos de los Desconocidos del Valle, which I recommended in a couple podcasts before. There's a grupo norteño de Phoenix, Arizona. They came out with the first single on Spotify. They did a popurrí de canciones, dos corridos together. So ellos, their name is Los Desconocidos del Valle, and they play Olegario Chávez and Chivo Tatemado, and it's live. Recommend you guys listen to this. It's a good grupo norteño, Canelo style. They play really well. They sing well too. I mean, they hacen ambiente. It's their first single, so let's give a shout out. Let's support these guys, and hopefully they come out with more stuff. And yeah, it's, I saw them in man, it's gonna be 2 months already. Yeah, it's 2 months ago already. Yeah, I mean they play really well live. They're awesome. I got a couple of videos of them in my YouTube page. Alice Mike's Podcast. That's the name of the YouTube page, and on Spotify, not Spotify, but on I believe on Instagram I have a video of them as well. So yeah, go and check them out. Yeah, definitely recommend it. Go to hear Los Desconocidos del Valle cantando Olegario Chávez and Chivo Tatemado, and it's live. They sound really good. All right, so next artist, I'm really glad they're back doing what they're playing again and collaborating. So Banda Sinaloense MM, which back in the early 2000s, they released a lot of content of music, mucha música tocada. So, from freaking Banda Sinaloense Tocada, not Tamborazo, people, okay? This is not Tamborazo. This is Banda Sinaloense Tocada, instrumental. So Banda Sinaloense MM, they brought out a bunch of CDs, a ton of CDs, which is great because a lot of music. It was hard to not to listen, but how it was hard to acquire in the música tocada back in that time. I mean, you did have the old recordings of Recodo, which is, for their time was great, but I mean they haven't aged that well. You're talking about recordings, 70s, I don't know, 60s. So it was time for newer recordings. I wouldn't say better recordings, but better sounding recordings. There you go. Better sounding recordings of, las tecualeñas, el sal de la palma tocadita, mi gusto es tocadita, el sinaloense tocado, Ria Pichátaro, el Palo Verde, man, de Maslana Caponeta, Ofelia. So todas esas canciones, de Banda MM, released again, and then they did a bunch of también like boleros y canciones de puros folks como Perla y Cinco de Chicle. So it was cool to have, but after some time, I think they recorded a lot. They were, and then you could tell the recordings got a little better and better and better and better. So it was good. You hear the first ones and you're like, okay. Then you hear some of the last ones, you're like, okay, they definitely improve. And the thing with the Banda MM, it was never a banda you could actually hire. It was as a group of musicians that just got together to record. They would it would just be one musician on each they would play. They would just is it one musician for each instrument. That's it. But they would play both parts, which in banda, they has they it's a dueto. When they one like a trombone, one trombone plays the high part, another trombone plays the low part. So they would record. The same musician will record both the high and the low part, and then they'll join it together. And there you go. So it was definitely. I think it was considered they say that the best of the best. And then I heard this story from, I don't know if it's official or not, or, I heard it that this banda MM started because somebody in the illicit business wanted to have the opportunity to listen to banda when they weren't available to hire a banda. They might be up in El Cerro somewhere it's banda just can't get up there, or it just they don't want to get caught or whatever. And hey, he wanted to have a CD so you could pop it in and listen to his favorite music. That's the rumor that I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but that's how they first started got it funded. That's how they got their como se lo apadrinaron. Si es verdad, pues quién sabe. Either way, and then nobody was releasing albums. Bandas sinaloenses tocadas han sido la banda Renovación. Sacó En Vivo volumen 1, and I think they have 3 volumens already. And man, that really got into. First of all, it hit with them. They got really known. That's how I got to know them, and then I spread it around because it sounded good. It sounded awesome. I loved their energy, and, they started playing something, I'm not saying old school, but, tocaditas and, that people from Sinaloa and northern Mexico like, and it got spread around, and look at them. Right now they're touring all over the place here in the United States, and so there's much more. I say about need, but you can see a lot of bandas at least putting 1 or 2 songs instrumental in an album, which is great. It's great. So running back to Banda MM. It's because they're just bringing out a new single called El Toro Requesón. So, and I've seen months ago on Facebook, they had a lot of musician pages from Mexico, advertising that, hey, Banda Sinaloense MM is going to be back. They're working on new stuff. A lot of old musicians have come together to start this new project again, and I thought it was great. Real happy. And then until I see it, last Friday, they came out with the single. So here it is. It's El Toro Requesón by Banda Sinaloense MM. It's an instrumental. Hope you guys enjoy, and hopefully, a ver qué más van a sacar estos señores. So really looking forward to their new releases, and hopefully they keep it going. All right, so talking about more new releases, El Potro Sinaloa came out with the album Con los Amables del Norte. The album's called Con Esencia Ranchera. The whole album is great. It's variado. He's playing Con los Amables del Norte, which was Chalino's, well, at least the accordion player of Chalino, which is El Potro's brother, actually, Nacho Hernández. Es el hermano del Potro Sinaloa. And it's a conjunto con tuba, and the whole album sounds great. The songs that I recommend, I should have just put the whole album, but these are the ones I recommend. Se llama La Niña de Mis Amores, Lo Lindo de Ti, La Luz de Mi Vida, Que Chulos Ojos, El Diagnóstico, Ojitos Cafés y Palomita Blanca. But again, the whole CD is great. yeah, it's upbeat. It's good. Rancheritas, and there's some romantic stuff in there. Then there's just, it sounds great. Yeah, it's just the conjunto sounds really good. Potro sounds good as always. Definitely check it out. But this album is great. Definitely recommend it. Everybody to listen to it. Again, es el Potro de Sinaloa con los Amables del Norte. Se llama Con Esencia Ranchera. Definitely recommend it. Check it out. Listen to it. Awesome album. That's great that El Potro, came out with this CD. I think his past couple of albums were, they were okay. But this one really, I'll definitely be playing this one. Sounds great. So definitely recommend it. Again, it's El Potro Sinaloa con los Amables del Norte. El álbum se llama Con Esencia Norteña. All right, next up we have Arly Perez. Real big in the, and then the LA scene over here in the, 2010s, con corridos and stuff like that. It was his famous corridos called Entre Pancho y Pancho. He came out with a new single. It's called La Manzanita, but he plays it con norteño y banda. So he switches between norteño y banda. Sounds great. It's a cover. The song, a lot of people have sing La Manzanita, but it sounds good. So Arly Perez came out with a single called La Manzanita. All right, from here we go to Los Morros del Norte. Came out with a live album. It's called Continuación de los Morros del Norte en Vivo. I recommend 4 songs from there. It's called El Lobo, El 97, Niña de Mis Amores, y El Halcón. Man, these guys are so much fun to listen live, experience live. They're a fun time. I really like their live albums just because it's like, I'm not saying they play better, but as a musician, I think when you play in front of a crowd, you get this like extra energy that makes you play either better or it makes you play better, or just there's I think there's more of a freedom that when you be inside a studio. I think inside a studio you don't get that energy. It's hard for you to get that energy from the crowd, and sometimes it might not be as upbeat. I'm not saying these guys have that effect, but I'm just saying their live albums just sound really great because of that energy they're bringing out when playing live. But hey, there's 4 songs: El Lobo, El 97, Niña de Mis Amores, y El Halcón, Los Morros del Norte. It's en vivo. Go and check it out. Definitely enjoy these guys. And then from here we got. I know that these new ones are not new releases because these are Los Haces de Sinaloa, Leonel el Ranchero y Almica el Cazador. Because unfortunately Almica el Cazador has passed away. I mean, I think more than 10 years now. But it's a new release. I haven't heard this actually, this album. But it came out. This is one of my favorite duetos. So I recommend these 5 songs called Sueños de Rey, Quiera Dios, El Camino Más Oscuro, y Dos Pajarillos. So go and check it out. One of my favorite duetos right there, Los Haces Sinaloa, Leonel Ranchero, Almica el Cazador. The album's called Regalo Caro. Go and check it out. I mean, guys, these 2 guys, definitely my favorite duetos. They sing, se acoplan muy bien juntos. Unfortunately, como I was stating, Almica el Cazador passed away. More like disappeared, but passed away. Hey, looks like they have some hidden songs out there. So, all right, from there we go to this guy named Victor M, and song called Las Copias. This guy definitely has a unique voice. It's live. It sounds good. Again, it's a unique voice, but you know, a ver, he has maybe like 4 or 5 singles. This is the only single that I really liked. Let's see what else he brings out. But definitely like how it's how he sings. Guy's name's Victor M. And the single's called Las Copias, and it's live. So go ahead and check it out. All right, from there we go. I have Nueva Marca. They play a song called El Perseverante, which is a cover, but they play quite well. Their own style. Go ahead and check it out. Yeah, El Perseverante by Nueva Marca. And then from there we go to these guys. They must be twins because se llaman Los Twins. And they play a cover of Paz en este amor, which is a cover I think from Fidel Rueda. That's who I remember first came out with it. It might be somebody else, but yeah, it's called Paz en este amor by Los Twins. Yeah, they add the little spin to it, and it sounds pretty good. So go and check it out. Again, it's Paz en este amor by Los Twins. All right, then we have this this song that I recommend. It's by Los Tigres del Norte. It's called La Reunión, and I think it's musically inclined. It's really simple, but it's the wording of it. The lyrics are nice. It's You guys just have to listen to it. You know, it's one of those songs that it's I'm not saying it hits home, but it's like, you know, as we grow up and have family and stuff like that, and you know, sometimes we have little discussions, disagreements, and you know, just little problems that sometimes we make bigger than what they should be. And this song is just really like, you know, let's forget about, you know, all the little petty stuff. You know, let's all have this reunion as family and enjoy each other. Have a great time. Forget about problems, because you never know if anybody will be around next time. You know, it could be our parents, it could be a brother and sister, it could be a nephew or a niece, grandfather, grandmother, and so let's just take the time to like enjoy family, the reunion. And yeah, I think it's important, you know. It's, you know, a lot, especially during this time right now. You know, people have been hit by COVID. You know, some people have lost family members, young, old, in between. So, you know, sometimes it's little petty stuff that gets us from being together and enjoying each other. And you know, we gotta learn. We gotta not learn, but we gotta be adult enough to know that as humans we make mistakes. You know, and we gotta learn to forgive and give the people a chance. You know, sometimes it's hard because a lot of stuff has happened, and it's understandable. But then again, there's a lot of petty stuff that sometimes keeps people away from each other. And sometimes you got to look at the bigger picture. And it's better to have those reunions and not be and not look back and say we should have, could have, would have. You know, it sucks when you look back at stuff and you're like, well, I should have, I could have, I would have. So this is what the song represents. That's what the song gives out. That's what it's trying to talk to the audience about. Um, so yeah, just take a listen to it. Um, it's I definitely sent out. When I sent it, I send it out to both my brother and sister and be like, hey, just just listen to the song. And not that we have. I'm saying that we have issues, but sometimes we gotta spread these songs around because other people have family members and families and extended families and stuff like that, and I love the message that it gives out. So go and check it out. It's called La Reunión by Los Tigres del Norte. And take your time to listen to it. And yeah, so all right, so yeah, definitely check this song out, okay? La Reunión, Los Tigres del Norte. All right, from there we go to Pancho Barraza y El Mimoso. Came out with a single called Con el Alma Marchita. It's a typical Pancho Barraza song, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's definitely a good thing. Pancho Barraza is one of the great artists out there. Mimoso, pobrecito, casi no puede cantar. Just kidding. Tiene voz de más ese hombre. Go ahead and check it out. It's Con el Alma Marchita, Pancho Barraza y El Mimoso. Actually, Pancho Barraza is one of the persons I went to see in concert in the Microsoft Theater in LA. So I'll be telling you about that in another podcast. From there we go to a cover. Los Tiranos del Norte con Banda Libertad singing 100 Años, which is it's definitely a cover. A lot of people have singed it. They've singed it with banda or mariachi, orchestra. Most famously sang by Pedro Infante. And some bunch of other people. But yeah, Los Tiranos del Norte con Banda Libertad sound great. They sing their interpretation of 100 Años. All right, from there we go to Julio Chávez, Los Sembradores y El Chino del Rancho. They sing El Pato Nada, which is one of the songs que Julio Chávez, that's like 10 years ago. It's kind of his staples. So he sings it with those two other grupos. It sounds pretty good. So El Pato Nada by Julio Chávez, Los Sembradores y El Chino del Rancho. All right, from there we go to Código FN. Came out with a new single called Sueña Conmigo. Great song. I love Código FN. I love their style. I love their style of conjunto. So definitely always looking forward to whatever they bring out. So yeah, they came out with this new song called Sueña Conmigo. Go and check it out. All right, so then we have another fusion of country and conjunto together. It was a couple weeks ago we had the Friends in Low Places con La Energía Norteña and country artist. Now we have La Energía Norteña with Bree Bagwell singing Can't Take My Eyes Off You. Just check it out. Again, it's a fusion norteño and I'll say country, but then the song is not country, but they made it kind of country. So just go ahead and check it out. Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, La Energía Norteña with Bree Bagwell. And then to finish it off, we have this guy's grupo. It's called La Adicción y Cuitlán Vega. Man, nombrecito. Once again, La Adicción y Cuitlán Vega. They sing Por Amarte Así. Nice little romantic song. Sounds nice. Con guitarra y tuba. The singers actually they sing the song, cantan bien. Go ahead and check it out. So to end it off, pues that's the song is Por Amarte Así by La Adicción y Cuitlán Vega. All right, well, that's it for all my recommendations of music for the past 2 weeks. This has been for August 20th and 27th. My recommendations was 2 weeks. Again, check out that song, La Reunión de los Tigres del Norte. Great song. Really great song. And then the album de El Potro Sinaloa, with Los Amadores del Norte. It's a great album. And there were some songs I recommended. That's why I recommended it, right? All right. Well, again, thanks everybody for listening. From where you're listening, from wherever you're listening from the East Coast, West Coast, North, South, and everywhere in between. Thank you so much for listening. That was my podcast. I'll be releasing another podcast of my 4-day weekend. Had in LA. Talking about the concert venues, parking. Yes, parking sucks. Well, sometimes, but parking. Went to Dodger game. Sat in the baseline seats, which was a brand new great experience. So I'm gonna talk about that. Just eating out in LA and having a good time, and I'm gonna share with all my listeners about my little adventures. And so that's the podcast be coming up. Once again, thank you so much for everybody for listening, and remember, follow me on Instagram and Facebook and Alice Mike Podcast. Don't forget my YouTube channel, Alice Mike Podcast, same name. And then I don't know if you guys saw, but I put some I call them corny shorts, which I kind of trimmed down some of his. I took out some of his stories and just made a little clips of it, so you guys could enjoy just the stories just individually instead of listening to the whole podcast. Which, hey, I don't mind if you listen to the whole podcast, but sometimes I understand. Sometimes you want to listen to just short little specific ones. So. More of those. Definitely doing that with Corny, with Danita, with some conversations with Horacio. Some of the other podcasts I got. Not the Music Fridays, but I'll probably be doing that for the conversations. And more stuff to come. So once again, if you want to give it a shout out, a message, or something, please, through Instagram or Facebook, Alice Mike's Podcast. Just send it through. Really appreciate it. Appreciate everybody listening to this podcast. And thank you so much, and thank you everybody for all the support. And I just want to say, like I ended off. Remember, don't forget to smile. And if nobody smiles back, get in front of a mirror and smile. Somebody will be smiling back at you. All right, have a good one, everybody. Be safe and sane. Take care. All right, Sammy, say goodbye.
Thank